Welcome to Railroute. Today we're having a bit of a first look into the game, and just so you can have a bit of an idea of what to expect from the game before you buy it yourself. So this is a building sandbox management sim, so you get to do the things like design and construct and upgrade and basically automate a railway network. That's basically what it is. And before we get into this, a little bit of a disclaimer. I have received this game for free as a sort of review copy. It's not a sponsorship, but I did get the key for free. Now that's out of the way, I want to first of all show you as we go along gameplay, and I also want to show you all the menus, what you can get. So first of all, this is what you're seeing. You've got maps, current game, options, and add map. This does have modding support as well, which is cool. We've got rush hour, which, as it says up here, is sustained increased traffic, wave by wave. There's an endless mode, there's a timetable mode, and there is a bunch of tutorials, which it did kind of try and throw me into. So I've just had to pause it in the background, as you might be able to see here. But we'll get into that once I show you everything. So, as with all these first looks, I've not actually played the game. So this is going to be my first go. I'm going to show you as much as I possibly can. So let me just take you through the options. I know some of you might be interested to see what's in here. So these are the video options we can change. I have disabled the audio. Not sure if it's YouTube friendly, so I'm not taking any chances on that. Got controls, which you can kind of get. This does work with a controller, as you can see. So it is a bit of a prison architect, city skylines type of game, but with railway, really. From those controls, there's some accessibility, gameplay options, and obviously that's the privacy data there as well. You can also add maps through different various ways, including through Discord by the look of it as well. That's interesting. Yeah. So that's the sort of options that you get with it. I have skipped ahead from the tutorial segment, or majority of this tutorial. We're still kind of in it, but just to kind of show you the start of bit, where we're just sort of managing the trains at the moment. We have made this sort of shortcut through construction menu, which is also quite cool, which I'll show you later on as well. So this is where it's going. Obviously, this is the time down here. And so this is going into platform 2 over here. So I need to make sure that all those are all changed, and then I can green light that. It's got a minute to go, but that's where it's going to go. And of course, you can skip ahead if you want to, just like that. I mean, you could theoretically just wait. But if I scroll out, you can see how potentially complicated it could get. But we're starting off simple right now. So now we're at a little bit of different. The tutorials sort of progress, and we're on what's called the timetable version, which is basically getting a high score of making sure everything is on the regular paths and on time, obviously. And obviously this is the more dispatching element of the game, but I thought, as it's the sort of
make sure you don't keep them waiting
game mode, I'll show you this as well. Keep forgetting, I need to select it to accept it and then bring it in. And this one's going into number 1, which it looks like it's already set anyway, so we can green light that. And this is the order they need to go in. So this is going to West Arnold, platform 1, Wakefield, platform 1, and then back. Is this doing the same? No, this is going to Portsmouth number 2. Almost a reverse, it's just going to go to this one instead. So flip you around by right-clicking. And say, yeah, you can go. Because there's not going to be any clashes, that's fine. Now we're back to the endless mode again, as it's diverted us back a bit, but again, I thought I'll show you a little bit more of this, just so I can explain a few things as well and show you some things. So this is going to the docks, so I've already adjusted all this. That should be fine to go. So there are sort of contracts which you can grab, and they'll kind of pop up. You don't have to actually accept them. it will maybe say, okay, there's maybe a set number of trains every 60 minutes or something, whatever it is, things like that. There are also system upgrades, and the system upgrade that we got was the auto accept trains. So these are all the sort of upgrades that you can get every single time you get a on-time train. You will get basically a skill point which you can contribute to this, and we have 7 at the moment, so we could unlock one of these like an auto blocks or automatic routing, but that's the auto accept trains. We don't need to accept any trains as of at the moment of time. So we've got to the point where we've unlocked the red ones, which are a little bit different. It's the red experience points, the regional trains, or freight. I think I will go for freight actually. So we're going to install that. So we're now going to go into the building because we need a dispatcher office. So we're going to plop it probably there. And I think that's now linked as far as I know. So now we can get those red contracts which will come into this station over here. Okay, so this is my chance to show you the build menu, where I can grab a track, and we're going to probably... Oh, that connection's not possible. Okay. So I was thinking of doing that. Obviously, we didn't see this here. So we're going to have to go up here.
Oh, I do love laying down new
And
track.
there.
Endless possibilities. The sounds of trains zooming along. Hey, that's given me an idea.
And I don't know if that's way too many. Let me just connect it to there. That should be okay then. Right, I've reorganized the track now, so it goes like this, and that works. A little bit of problem solving in this game. Okay, now we're past the sort of tutorial phase. Let me just sort of show you. I've chosen the Manchester map, and this one needs to go to Deansgate, which is number 1. So we need to switch you and into you. You are all good to go. So the tutorial was relatively long actually, for those wondering. I think it took me 40 minutes, 50 minutes to actually complete. Obviously those things to read and sort of understand. Still learning. Right, so you now need to go to road 1. So that should be all good. Keep going. So this is what would be classed as endless. I would suppose the career mode, you can continue the tutorial if you want to. That essentially becomes an endless mode if you so want to. From Prague, and you unlock stations, and you unlock the what's called the auto blocks, which you unlock through a upgrade system. I know I've already shown you this menu, but that's what that auto blocks is. It unlocks a little way from the station. This now needs to go to Piccadilly number 11, which means it needs to go up there. That's all good to go. You kind of see how hectic it can be. Let's accept that. You now need to go into road number 2, which means after that's gone past there, we can now switch that track and go. Yeah, you can go. There we go. Just like that. So this is what this contract system is. We can decline this if we want to. So this is three trains every 60 minutes, all stations. I'm going to accept that because why not? It's not going to be a huge problem. We've got a few of others. We'll leave that for now, but you can see how, you know, upgrade your tracks and adjust the timetable, adjust it accordingly. which is what happens in here. Sort of adjustments here and there. So if we go into the building blocks here, we can now buy a platform, for example. So let's say we buy number 2 here. We can now go to a connection, and we can now build a U to there. And we will build that into there. But that's generally how the building blocks work. We don't have any, we don't have any money for that at the moment. But we will come back to that. The more trains, the more complex it's going to be. And you can connect all these sort of stations, so you can kind of see how many hours you can probably do in this game based on just one map. This is just the Manchester map. There are loads of others as well, as obviously you've got all the upgrades to go through, you've got contracts to accept, all that kind of good stuff. Now just going through the maps, bear in mind that was the Manchester one. How many maps have we got here? There's quite a few. So in terms of content, you've got quite a lot, because also you've got the endless mode, which is, well, it's endless. You've got the rush hour mode, not as many maps, but obviously you can add more maps with Steam. But this is increased traffic wave by wave, as I mentioned at the start, but you've got a few to play with. And you've got timetable, which is just getting a max score to be as precise as possible with a bunch of them. But that's generally it. That's Railroute for you, and hopefully with the amount of time that I'm giving you here, it should give you a little bit of insight into the game, into what it should be effectively like. And I've tried to kind of show you as much as I possibly can. The only thing I haven't actually shown you is rush hour, but you can kind of see it's kind of a little bit of endless, a little bit of timetable where, you know, you've got increasing trains, you've got to manage that. But generally, that's what it is. There's all sort of building blocks and stuff to explore as well. So there's all of that as well. But this first look is only meant to be a taster to get you an idea if you are looking into buying Railroute and you're not quite sure. So hopefully this video has sort of solved that for you. From my very limited time here, I ran into probably one issue. There's a scoring system, a little star at the top. I clicked that and it completely froze my game, so I had to restart. That's the only issue I've had thus far, but other than that, it runs fairly smoothly. It's obviously quite a chill, you know, there's an audience for this. If this is your sort of thing, then I'd say you're going to enjoy it, something like Prison Architect or City Skylines, that kind of element. I would like to see you be able to create your own map and expand, in the sense that you start with a plain map, you start with one station, or sorry, 2 stations, or even just start with 1 station and you build another station somewhere else and you connect the lines instead of pre-existing lines. That would be quite nice. But you have plenty of content here, as I've demonstrated, and hopefully you can make a decision on whether you want to buy Railroute or not. And that's going to do it for our very first look on Railroute. What do you think about the game? Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? From what you've seen so far, are you going to buy Railroute? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and like to see more content like this one and found it helpful, make sure you are subscribed. I make other simulation-based games like Railroute, as well as some racing games as well. So if that interests you, stick around, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.